You know, with these Vexilar flashers, they can do so much for the ice angler, and we know what they can do. They can find bottom, they can find fish, right? Those are the basic functions, but there's some stuff that these flasher units can do that we oftentimes do not think about. And the thing I want to address right now is what I call color palette 2. And for some of the guys and gals out there watching this, they're probably already nodding, or they might be upset at me because I'm about to share a secret that they've known about for a while. And now, what is color palette 2 exactly? For starters, all these Vexilar units are 3-color flashers, except for some of the units like a 28 and a 30. You have multiple colors. Color palette 2 is available on the 20, the 28, and the 30. And I'm going to talk about how each one is applicable for you. So for starters, what is color palette 2? Color palette 2, what it does here, and it's the easiest for me to show you on this FLX-20. And what it does is it changes your color palette to just red and orange, okay? So your 3-color flasher traditionally is gonna be green, orange, red, weakest to a strongest signal. I think we know that. But when you go to your second color option on the 20, it takes away the green. So that's probably the easiest way to understand what I'm referencing. And on the 28, same fashion, I can take away, right now you can see I have green, orange, red. By going to my color selector on the 28, that's the CS, I hit my gain button. I'm now color number 2. You can see it takes away the green. And on the 30, your color selector is going to be on the far right. Same thing, I'm going to filter through these. There's color number 2, it takes away the green. So that's how you change it on the 20, the 28, and the 30. Now, meat and potatoes of this conversation is, what does it actually do for you as an angler? You know what? It does a lot more than you think. And what it does for me is it takes away some of that interference, whether it's from an opposing signal, whether it's from weeds, whether it could be clutter, whether it be zooplankton, situations like that. And it gives me only what I want to look at. So right now, for example, on this 28, if I go back to color palette 1, which is going to be green, orange, and red like we know, you can see I got all kinds of stuff. So let's pretend this is a weed bed. This does look like what a lot of weeds beds will look like. I got my bottom, I got all this, call it clutter, which is actually going to be weeds. Lots of stuff to look at, right? I feather my jig through there, I'm probably not going to see it. Now if I go to color palette 2, and I go back to that same window, it clears everything up. Now I can take away some of that green. I can see through the weeds a lot better. I can see my jig. I can see the fish more clear. It works well. Same situation for, let's say, evening crappies. I'm gonna chase these crappies, let's say over a mud flat or a basin or something to that effect. We all love that sundown crappie bite. Well, you know what else loves the sundown crappie bite? Insects, organisms, zooplankton. They come out, they flourish at night, and they give you all that interference. You move to color palette 2, and it takes away all of those little green flickers, all those little green flickers that annoy us when we go ice fishing. It then gives you just what you want to see. So color palette 2, if you're not playing with that for ice fishing, give it a try. Find ways to incorporate that into your arsenal so you can take away some of the stuff you don't want to see, so you can focus on your lure, the fish, and in the grand scheme of things, being more successful on the ice with color palette 2 from Vexilar.